Good morning and welcome to the early bird. And I'm just using this chart here on the Dow Jones here, which is the daily chart, just to explain the bigger picture here and the two options that we have. Unfortunately, today and maybe even tomorrow as well, we will be sort of in no man's land, and we just need for the market to work itself into a corner, and then we can pick up the lead from there and trade it out. And what I mean by that is this correction here that that's been unfolding here. This could be the top of a market here, and the market's unfolding to the downside. Or it could be that this is just a corrective move and it's finished here and will move higher. Okay, so we don't have a clear direction on that, but the good news is that shortly we will have confirmation on that. Sure, we can take guesses at certain things and get probability and bias and all that sort of stuff, but we kind of want to be sure at this point in time here. So that's why I'm saying to you that we're just in no man's land. We need to watch the market work into a corner, and we could pick up the thread from that and then move out with that in either direction. Okay, so I just want to explain this in more detail. I know that I've been going over it since it's sort of been going on a little bit, but it's more important now as it's worked itself into a corner. So on the corrective move side, which would be this here as an ABC like this here, and then that's basically that low there. Okay, so from that point there, what we would see is that the market would work itself and make new highs here. So you can see that, and it would create a trend higher than this one here. Yeah, be longer than this one here. So it is important. So that's one aspect of it. Okay, the other aspect, and we will look at the important thing is that this move here is this low here, and then yesterday the market moved up to here. Last night it moved up a little bit further up into here. Yeah, so that means that we're sort of in this little area here, right? In this little area here, in this move up here, normally that if it was going to be a positive move to the upside, what we'd be looking at in this little leg here is we'd want to see 5 waves move in there like that, right? So what we have at the moment is we only have 3 waves. We have well, basically this one up, this one back, and then this one here. So we're at the top of this one here, which is in the next picture that we're going to be looking at is actually a corrective move. So this move here, this 3-wave structure up there, that occurred there, and this would actually have 5 waves in it to there, 3 waves here and 5 waves there in an internal structure. So we're at the top of that little one there. If we get this 4th one back here and then the 5th one up there and we get that 5 waves there, then we know where we are, because we would get 3 back after that, because this move down through here would be in 3 waves back to this point. Okay, and then we would move up further from there. So we would know where we are once we got those 5 waves there. So at the moment we've got 3 waves up, which could be corrective, and the market can simply fail from this point here and move down, and I'll explain that in a minute. So that's an important aspect there. So the market should move down anyway to this little 4th wave here, and then if it moves up, then we're fine. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking for the market to work itself into that little corner there, and then we will look to trade out of that. So it's going to be a little bit tricky because we've got Easter on the horizon as well. Right, so that's it for the positive side. On the downside of this here, this won't be a 3-wave situation. I'll put that sort of up there a little bit so we may use that in a minute. On the downside is that we would be looking at a structure much larger, and we'd be looking for something like, if I just go down this a little bit, that would actually be to there, that would actually be to that point there. So that's what we're looking at on the downside. So in this move down through here, this first move here, there was 5 waves. That's fine. That's what we'd expect. And that would have been the same in the ABC correction too. In this one here, there would have been 5 waves down in this structure here, which there was. And we can count that. That's not a problem because we get 5 here. That means after correction, we'll get another 5. And that's what's occurred in here. So this big long third wave in here, this is the one that that should concern us. Now, in this structure here, in this long wave here, there will also be 5 waves in this as well, like that. Okay, that's what we'd be looking at. There'd be a powerful third wave. Now, this first wave that's moved down through here would be this move that's come down through here. Yeah, so that's what that would look like. There would be 5 waves down in that, and there is. Then what we would be looking at is we would be looking at 3 waves going back up here. So if we come over here and grab this little 3-wave structure here and pop that in there, that's what we've got. Okay, and also in with this as well, this little 3-wave structure here would move 61.8% back of the last leg down. So from this wave 1 down coming here, this one coming down here, this structure coming down here would pull back 61.8%, and that's exactly what it's done last night. So into there, so we'll be looking back into this level through here of 61.8%, which on our markets that we're looking at would be 12,272. The 12,272 is a 72 number, and it will play a strong role. And in fact, it is playing a strong role. It's the balance point within the market. So that's what we'll be looking at. So that little 3-wave structure here, we're going to go and have a look at now. That's what's in the market now, okay? So at the 1272 there, that's where that can fail and then move further down through here. So we will either get this little 5-wave structure here, or we're going to be ending up with this little 3-wave structure here. But in both cases, this little 4th wave's got to pull back, yeah, and this one here would pull back as well. So at that point, what happens is that if this structure overtook this wave 1 here that came up through here, if this wave 4 here came back down through that structure there, then we've got a problem, and we'll be moving to the downside on that, because we don't want to see overlapping wave structures on an impulse wave to the upside. Okay, we want to see a building process there. We don't want to see any weakness. If it is the ABC here, then as I mentioned just then that will be taken out through there, and we will see this market then move down through there like that. So that's the critical point, and that's where we are, and we'll have a look at that now. So this is the S&P 500. We can come back to that one. We'll just have a look at the Dow Jones here. So this is the 3-wave structure from the 8th of April. It can be an A wave, a B wave to here, and then it's tucked in there somewhere, not that it matters, and then a C wave down to here. So that can be the low, and we can move up higher from here, yeah. Or this here, this current move up through here would be, so from the top here down to here, we've got the 61.8 retracement level here, which is coming in here at 12,260, but close to the 1272 there. So are we getting the 3-wave structure coming up through here to the 61.8 retracement level, and then we'll fold from here and continue to the downside? Or do we find support back here and then move to the upside there? That's what we're looking at. And you can see that it's not that clear, but the 1272 is this orange line through here, and it's got a lot of pull, and I mentioned that before we even got to it, even when we're coming up to it, that this would play a role later on in the scenario, and now it's at that pivot point there. So in a bit of a nutshell, what we could say that if the market found support on the top of the minor level here, 300, then we could pretty safely say that if support was found on here, then we can look to go further to the upside. even though that it would struggle and have corrections around here and probably get up here, pull back and all those sort of things. But once support is found on there, then we've got a positive structure to the upside. And if that positive structure is going to occur from that point there, then we've got plenty of time to move to the upside, because it would move up through the 12,500 and move much further up. So we've got plenty of upside, we've got plenty of time. The trick is not to lose money in this area here. Okay, so we're facing Easter, so we may as well sort of chill out a little bit and just observe this and pick up the thread on this. So this little move up here, I'll just go in and explain that on a 5-minute chart here, so you've got a little bit of an idea with it, in terms that this structure should finish at the 12,272 here. And the reason that I say that, for just looking at this little structure here, if you're a bit of an Elliott person, then we've got wave 1 to here, wave 2 to here, and then we've got 5 waves moving into this point up here, and that would be the 1, the 2, 3, the 4 and the 5 to here. Then we've got the A, the B and the C wave to here. And then this is the interesting part here, I think, in terms of in counting this up here. We've basically got up for wave 1, back for wave 2 here. There will be 5 waves in through here. This will be an A and a B and a C for the 4th, and this will be the 5th coming up through here. So in this zone here at the 272, this is where it's going to get hit. This is where it's likely to fail from. So what we need now is we still need this market to take a good few sessions to work itself out in this space here. And in this space here is a little bit like crude. You know how we've been tracking oil? And it's been working itself out. Well, that's further along the pathway now, and we can start to have a look at that. We'll get a move from there. But that's what we're looking at, and I took a bit of time to explain that, and I probably shortened the video in other areas. But it's the same with the S&P 500 in terms of the A, the B and the C wave being complete here, or we've got wave 1 down to here, wave 2 back to here, and a big third wave happening down to the downside here. And in this big third wave, this would be down for 1, back for 2 at the 61.8 retracement level, and that will play out at the 1310 here. And it'd be the same sort of structure that we're looking forward to the upside here. So given time here, this will probably be an earlier signal here. Given time here, the 1310 will become support or resistance, and that will help us with a bit of a lead there. But you'll be looking for this little last 5 waves up through here in terms of the 1, the 2, strong, powerful third wave, 4th wave, because there's an extension in the 3rd wave. Waves 1 and wave 5 will be the same. So look, we're really drilling down into all of this, and we could have a big bearish market unfolding, or we could be having a nice larger market moving to the upside. So either way, there's going to be a nice trend coming. We just need to be patient and steady and work that out. So keep position sizes small, and we'll pick up the thread as it unfolds. So you won't be missing anything. The point and the trick is not to lose money in the meantime if we're going to be trading longer term trends on the local market. Okay, pretty much the same with the FTSE as well. Based on this as well, with the FTSE looking for a structure up there. It's actually 5 waves up with the FTSE here in terms of, this is on an hourly chart, but you'll see this better on a 15 or half an hour chart in terms of 5 waves to this point here, and that would be the 1, the 2, the 3, the complicated 4, and then up for the 5. And back here, because we've got 5 here, we should see another 5 in here, which we're seeing now. We've got the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4 in here, and there should be a 5th wave up to here. So you know subgroup 1, this is 4, 9, so subgroup 1 is 10, 20 and 30. If support is found on 30, yeah, on top of it, then it will push higher. And it's not just enough for it to trade to push up above it. It's actually got to move up there, have an ABC across it, get back and find support, and then move up through there. You know, it is in a downtrend. There's plenty of resistances there, but we do have a positive structure here, but we don't know if this is an A and a B and a C wave of part of this as well. So as we're talking in a bear market, we would see this down for 1 here and this back for 2 here, and then further working to the downside. Or we've got the wave C low in here. We just don't know. We just need this to play out further so we can pick up the thread and move on from there. And that's the same with our market as well. The SPY here on the 4.8 here, we'll see a bounce off here. The important thing here, if you're trading the sub levels here, is the 4830 here. Finding support on that is not enough just for it to trade up there, and it's got to find support on there. Do you know what I mean? It's got to test it like this here. See, it's tested support here, so it pushes up in 5, come back and sit on it. That's what you need. You need that for the 30 as support, because it's subgroup 1, the 10, 20, and 30. It just helps separate it from the 4.8. But in this, normally that would be the case in a market moving up through the levels. This is more of a case coming down and bouncing off the 4.8 here. That's what that's about here. So slightly different picture here. But yeah. Okay, the futures market. Now, the copper here, watching this market move down, it's as we would expect it to do, slow down into the into this sort of subgroup 1 here, and also the being past the previous sort of low here as well. But one of the things that I wanted to point out here was the bigger picture here. This is the bigger picture for copper, and it's actually showing a corrective move here because of the 3-wave structure from here in terms of the A wave here. So we've got an A, a B, and a C here, which would make the A wave, and then an A and a B and a C for the B wave. And we're looking for the C wave to be in here, or we're going to be seeing it come down here further. So this would be a normal zigzag correction, flat coming down for an A, a B, and a C down to this point here. So we'll either have a triangle, because triangles are always in 3. There's 5 waves in a triangle in terms of an A, B, C, D, and E, and then we push up. And triangles only occur in 4th wave. You'll get pennants in wave 2, so to speak, but wave 4 delivers the triangles. They're actually 5-wave structure. An internal structure will have 3 waves in each wave like this. So that's one possibility there. But the bigger picture here is for copper to move up. This is being a corrective pattern here. So what we need to do now is we need to work out where we are and what we've got here. So we could have the low in place already here, and we move up from here, or we'll be moving down first and then up. So we've got a bit of work to do there. I will do some work on the on this particular structure here. I'll pull it down and get a better understanding about it. I've only been sort of guessing with it because what we had been seeing through all the way through here was larger corrections expanding, and trends that were increasing in size as well. They were expanding as well, but we can see that it's slowing down now. So it's becoming, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and this is the ending structure of this. So let's see here if we're going to get a larger correction or a bounce off here. But if we find support on the 430 here, then we'll be going up, and we can consider this low in place here. Yeah, anyway, good news for the bigger picture there. And that also helps us, you know, this bigger picture helps us with the Australian dollar. And it also helps us, obviously, with material sector, not only in Australia, but also with the Dow Jones as well, and also the Asian markets as well at their current levels as well. So, yeah, I think that's quite interesting. And when we're looking at currencies, which we'll look at the Australian dollar in a minute, there's a positive structure unfolding there as well. So now coming on to the oil here. Now, as I mentioned before, we would watch the support just sort of go over this, that the bottom line is that the price has not rejected the 110 yet, the minor trading level, one being the strongest number. And this whole structure here could just be a correction across this level here in three waves and eventually finding support and moving up. On our chart, however, we've got the bias to the downside, but I'm letting you know here that it hasn't been rejected yet, and the 105 here, a move under the 105 would separate the price from being a part of here and would open up a bigger picture. So under the 105, under the 104 would bring the 100 into play, but bringing the 100 into play also brings the 80 and the 90 into play as well as a larger correction unfolding across the level. Because as I mentioned here, that normally if you get an overshoot like this, like the market price comes up and overshoots it across here, the distance it goes above is normally the distance it goes below as well. So it's a little bit over here, but still it didn't have any overlapping wave structures until it met this one here, and that was fine. So it's in play here. We've seen the retest here. We'd expect it to be sold off here. Yeah, and it's come back and found a support again. So we're not sort of over and done just yet. But also, this being the high up here as well for the 100 here, if this does drop below the 105 here, because the price moved above the level of the 100 up to the, say, 114 here, 13, then we can expect those $13 there to show up on the downside, so which would put it at $87, $85 on the downside there. So yeah, the distance above will be the distance below through here. Now this particular thing has been working itself into a corner here. It's moved down, it's had the retest here, moved down into another 5 waves here. So all the internal structures have been taken into consideration, and yeah, so there is a bearish scenario for that. But if you found the 108 as a retested resistance, like here as such or here as such, if you see this pattern here at the 108 here, then you can look to get your first positions on the short side, but make sure that you know, it's retested and you can see it failing there. That's where you want it, the retest, then the failing, and that's where you get your first position, and then look to add further to the downside. But remember, this market, this price has not rejected the this level as yet, but sort of expecting it to, but it's not confirmed. So this whole correction here can just be the normal correction coming across the 1110, and if support is found, then we'll look to the upside there. Gold, as I mentioned here, that coming up to this, we'll get a reaction across here. We haven't really seen a reaction yet. We've seen the buyers are still pushing up here, but there's obviously sellers there as well. The normal situation here would to see this come back into here, look for support, and then push up through there, and then have an A, a B, and a C correction across the 1500 here. So look, I don't think that you're going to be missing anything here. If the stock market is up like the Dow was up last night, then the local gold stocks will be up. But if the stock market is down because tomorrow because of the 618, the 1272 on the Dow, if that is down, yeah, and this does push up through here, then our stocks tomorrow will still be down because it will follow the stock market rather than the gold market. So just be aware of that. When it comes to the currencies here, I think the most interesting aspect is the Australian dollar. The midpoint here, 105, 5 being the second strongest number. We're seeing this correction work across here. And as far as I can see, we've been talking about, I know that we've had the charts have been a little bit different, but we've been talking about this being an A wave, a complicated B wave, to the 72 here, and then we're looking for a C wave. Now, a C wave's always in 5 waves, and that's what we've got here. We've got a bit scraggly, but we've got down for 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here, third wave down to here, the fourth wave to here, and the fifth wave to here. So it's a bit of a flat correction. It could have come back down to the 104 here, but anyway, it's got support here. So we're looking at this structure here now. And if all according to plan here, we should have 5 waves up through here, 3 waves back, and then another 5 waves up through here. Wave 4 could get complicated if this one is simple, because the market works in alternation in terms of situations, and that's what we're talking about here. If this move here is simple, then this will be complex. This will be simple or more complex. That's how markets work, and you can see that again here in the impulse wave going to the upside. I might just put this on, it's on 15 minutes, this is on 2 minutes or something. So this is the move up here, and you can see here that this correction here was simple, yeah, but you can see there's a complexity within here. So it's simple, complex, simple, complex. So it's always got that alternation there. Anyway, back to the business. Up for wave 1, back for wave 2. I haven't pulled this apart, but wave 3, and A, B, and C, 4 and 5 here. I need to look at this closer here, actually. Jumping the gun there, but basically 5 waves up in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to here. This is a mini correction here of this one here, so it needs some work there. But look, we've had 5 waves up through here. We'll be looking at an A and a B and a C wave across here. It may even be there already. Just have a got to get my head around this, and I just don't have time on the video to do this. That's part of that. So, look, we should see an ABC correction in this space here. Okay, so once that's complete, and I'll keep an eye on that for you, then we should see a push up through here. So what we want to see here is a retest of support on the 105, and then we'll look for long trades to the upside. This will take a session or two to unwind through here, but also trade the levels as well. So you've got you're on the 50 here, so 1, 2, and 3. If support is found on the 3 here, then like a nice solid support, then you want to be trading long from that point there. Otherwise, you want to be building positions in as this corrects here. But this market, when it corrects, it could pull back 61.8% of this move through here, but it's more likely to find support on the 5 here, because larger numbers like this can skew not only the wave count, but also the proportions and perspective of certain patterns, as you can see through here as well. So you need to take the psychological aspect using the numbers into account when viewing patterns and retracement levels and so forth. Alrighty, that's it. So enjoy and good luck. Cheers.